Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw tonight was from the Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana. And this was Monday Night Raw's go-home show for Bad Blood, which is this Saturday. And Monday Night Raw tonight, I thought it was just an average show, at best, in my opinion. But tonight on the show, we had Xavier Woods. He had taken on Rey Mysterio. We had Zoey Stark in action, as she had taken on Lyra Valkyria. We had the Judgment Day. They ended up taking on the LWO. How many times have we seen this? It's been played out. Can we move on from the Judgment Day and LWO, please? We had Chad Gable in action. He had taken on Kofi Kingston. We had the Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor. They have taken on AwesomeTruth, R-Truth and The Miz. Yes, R-Truth ended up returning tonight. And, we had a little thing happen, in the match, which I'll get to explaining. And the main event. It was a last monster stand match. Braun Strowman versus Bronson Reed. But overall, Monday Night Raw was an average show at best. This show did nothing to hype us up for Bad Blood this Saturday. But like I said, it was just an average show. And this was the final 3-hour Monday Night Raw. Because next week, it goes to 2 hours, which is great. Thank God. It's going to be from 8 to 10. So, looking forward to that. And hopefully, if this does well, once it goes to Netflix in January, maybe we get 2-hour Monday Night Raws, or have them go, like 2:20, 2:30, like around that. We don't need to see 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. It's bad enough that they said that possibly SmackDown will be moving to 3 hours. We don't need a 3-hour SmackDown every single week. Like, who asked for 3 hours of SmackDown? Who asked for it? Not me. And I know none of you probably asked for it as well. But before I get into the review, if you guys haven't checked out my previous video that I uploaded earlier today, I did a movie review of Ordinary People from 1980, which stars Donald Sutherland, Mary Tyler Moore, Timothy Hutton, Judd Hirsch. That film won the Best Picture of that year in the Oscars. But that is a masterpiece of a film, and I would highly, highly recommend you all watch that film. It is just absolutely great. So check out my review of it if you guys haven't seen it. But anyway, let's jump right into the review. Monday Night Raw open up tonight with Mr. Yeet, Jey Uso, the new Intercontinental Champion, who ended up beating Braun Breaker last week on Monday Night Raw. And Jey Uso was in the concourse area. He was surrounded by fans. Jey Uso was fired up, and his son was by his side. Nice little appearance by Jey's son. And what I really liked was the Intercontinental Championship, they added blue into it, which I thought it looked great. Thought them adding the blue into the Intercontinental Championship was just absolutely, done good. And here's a picture of how the title looks. So that's what the title looks like. So Jey Uso entered through the crowd. He had the crowd all fired up. And the crowd was chanting, "You deserve it," to Jey. So Jey got on the mic. He kept saying, the Intercontinental Champion, main event Jey Uso, is now in your city. He kept saying that this is his first singles championship and that he'll fight every week for it. And anyone who wants it, yeet. So Jey Uso ended up thanking the crowd for having his back through all the years. He kept saying that he loves them. He kept saying tonight he got to come out to the ring with his son by his side, and it was a hard road to get here. He kept saying that his family made it hard for him. He kept saying Roman Reigns made it hard for him. He wanted to say that his whole life, he was just a twin. He wanted to say that his whole wrestling career, he was just a twin. Jey ended up saying that they didn't know him, but they know him now. Jey was getting very emotional at this point. He ended up saying that his biggest fan is his mother. He ended up saying that he spoke to his mom, and that she told him to go out there and show them who he is. Jey ended up saying that his mother told him to go out there and get it. Jey ended up saying that he got it. And he ended up saying, Mama, we did it. So then we had Braun Breaker end up coming out. The former Intercontinental Champion. He made his way down to the ring. Braun got on the mic. He ended up saying that he's not here to spoil the fun or crash the party. He ended up saying to Jey that he's out here because of the respect that he has for the Intercontinental Championship. He ended up saying that the lineage of the title goes back a long way. Breaker ended up saying after battling it out with Jey last week, he's also got the same respect for Jey. Breaker ended up saying that he told the world a few weeks ago how much the title meant to him, and that the right superstar should walk out with the title. He ended up saying that night, Jey was the better man. Braun ended up saying that he won't spear Jey or attack him. Breaker ended up saying that he wanted to be the first one out as a competitor and colleague to congratulate Jey. So then Breaker extended his hand for Jey to shake Breaker's hand. Jey looked a little unsure at first. He then thought about it, and both Jey and Breaker ended up shaking hands. So Breaker ended up turning to leave the ring. Jey then stopped Breaker. Jey then walked up to Breaker. He ended up saying that there are some dogs in Indiana, to which the crowd ended up barking, and that made Braun Breaker, take that in and smile. And then Braun ended up walking off. And pretty much that was basically how the segment ended. But we got here Braun Breaker, supposedly a babyface here. I think this was Braun Breaker's, babyface turn here. And I gotta say, it was a very weak babyface turn here for Braun Breaker, in my opinion. I just thought that the babyface turn for Braun Breaker could have been a lot better. But basically, this segment was just Jey Uso coming out there saying that he's going to fight every week for the Intercontinental Championship. And Braun Breaker got Jey Uso's respect. But like I said, the babyface turn for Braun Breaker, could have been done better. And then, as Monday Night Raw came back from commercial, we saw Liv Morgan with Dominic Mysterio. This was shot earlier in the day, and they were by Dominic's lowrider. So JD McDonough and Carlito came up to Liv Morgan and Dominic, and they were both wondering if Liv and Dominic both saw Finn Balor. So Dominic ended up calling Balor on the phone. Balor ended up saying that he was having travel issues, but that issue Liv Morgan wanted to take care of was handled. So pretty much that was basically that. And then we had the first match of the night. Rey Mysterio versus Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods wanted this match, last week. And, he got it. But this was a good match here between Ray and Xavier Woods. So the match got underway. Both Ray and Woods end up locking up. Woods end up twisting Ray's arm, but Ray ended up using the ropes to flip through the pressure hold of Woods twisting Ray's arm. Woods then ended up sending Ray into the ropes, and he connected with a drop kick, to which Woods went for the cover, and Ray ended up kicking out. Woods then ended up headbutting Ray, and he put Ray into the corner. Ray then flipped through a back suplex and shoved Woods into the corner. Ray ended up charging at Woods, but Woods ended up booting Ray back. Ray quickly ended up fighting back with a head scissor takeover on Woods. Ray ended up shouldering Woods in his midsection. He ended up hitting another head scissor takeover to knock Woods out of the ring. Ray then ended up knocking Woods back at ringside. Ray came off the apron with a flying sea of senton on Woods, and then Monday Night Raw with the commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we saw both Ray and Xavier Woods were exchanging punches and some kicks. Woods ended up kicking Ray in his midsection. Woods ended up going for a slam, but Ray ended up elbowing out of that. Ray ended up going for the ropes, but Woods ended up pulling him back. Ray then elbowed Woods in the face, and he hit the ropes. Woods then grabbed Ray, but Ray countered with an arm drag out of the ring. Ray then hit the aside moonsault onto Woods. Ray then ended up getting Woods in the ring. Ray then headed to the top rope. He ended up hitting a flying sea of senton on Woods, and Ray then followed it up with a springboard crossbody block, and he ended up going for the cover, to which Woods ended up kicking out. You had Ray end up hitting a hurricanrana to Woods into the ropes. He then went for the 619, but Woods ducked it. Ray was sent up for a reverse DDT, but both Ray and Woods ended up falling over. Woods then ended up grabbing at Ray, and he ended up ripping Ray's mask off. And Woods made it look like that was an accident, but that wasn't a so-called accident. I think that was intentional on Xavier Woods, because they're teasing, a heel turn, for Xavier Woods. A lot of people think that Kofi might be the one to turn heel, but I think they're going with Xavier Woods. I think they're going with Xavier Woods to turn heel. So Ray was shown covering his face. Woods then rolled Ray up, and there you go. Xavier Woods ended up winning the match. Post-match, Xavier Woods left the ring. He looked worried about what happened with him grabbing Ray's mask off, and he was heard shouting, "I didn't mean to." Yeah, you did. You meant to do it. So that was, intentional. That was not an accident there. But overall, good match it was between Woods and Rey Mysterio. And then we saw Lyra Valkyria. She was backstage, and she was approached by Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler. Sonya Deville ended up saying that Lyra Valkyria has a big match against Zoey Stark. And it's a shame that she'll be out there all alone without Natalya and Zelina Vega. So Lyra ended up saying that she doesn't have to worry about Shayna Baszler. And she doesn't bite unless Sonya Deville tells her to. And pretty much that was basically that. Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler would be out for the match. So that was that. Do I care? No. And then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we had a little vignette of a mysterious logo shown that we saw, last week. But the voice in this vignette said, "Prepare yourself." And of course, it's the return of the Viking Raiders, or they're going to be known as the War Raiders, because I heard that they wanted to have the Viking Raiders name go back to being, the War Raiders, which, if that's the case, then that is awesome. So the War Raiders. And then we saw Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston caught up backstage with Xavier Woods, and he ended up asking if he purposely pulled Ray's mask off. Xavier Woods ended up telling Kofi that he would never do that, and that he respects Ray. Xavier Woods ended up saying that he was hoping Kofi would congratulate him, to which Kofi ended up doing. And Kofi ended up saying to Xavier Woods that, speaking of opportunities, Jey Uso offered him in its Continental Championship match next week on Monday Night Raw. So Woods ended up saying to Kofi that he'll be by his side as he climbs the mountaintop. Kofi ended up saying that Xavier Woods won't be by his side because he told Jey that it should be Xavier Woods, so Xavier Woods has the match. So Woods was fired up. He ended up saying that he can beat Jey Uso. He ended up saying as for tonight, he liked to be by Kofi's side against Chad Gable. So Kofi ended up saying that they'll go 2 for 2 tonight because New Day rocks. And throughout this time that Kofi and Xavier were talking, Karrion Kross was watching from the background the whole time that Kofi and Xavier were talking. So pretty much that was basically that. Then we had Lyra Valkyria versus Zoey Stark. Of course, Zoey Stark was accompanied by Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler, and did not even care for this match. Match was boring. We had Zoey Stark end up following up with a Z360 on Lyra Valkyria because the ref was distracted by Shayna Baszler. Lyra ended up rolling Zoey Stark up, and Lyra ended up picking up a 2 count. Sonya Deville ended up quickly kneeing Lyra in her head. That's when Zoey Stark hit the Z360. So Zoey Stark ended up winning the match. Post-match, we had the Pure Fusion Collective, the Pure Shit Collective. They ended up surrounding Lyra, but Katana Chance and Kaden Carter ended up running down. Katana Chance was wearing a face guard because, she ended up breaking her nose. So Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, they ended up laying down Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler, and pretty much that was basically that. Did I care what was going on here? No. Match was awful. So then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we saw Jackie Redmond. Jackie Redmond was backstage with Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, and Lyra Valkyria. Katana Chance ended up saying that the Pure Fusion Collective broke her face, and they'll get revenge on them. She ended up saying once they're done with them, they'll get their Women's Tag Team Championship back. So then the Unholy Union end up walking up. This is Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. They end up saying that the titles belong to them. And Katana Chance was irate. She had to be held back by Lyra and Kaden. And pretty much that was basically that. No one cares. Hour 2 started off with Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce was in the ring with several security guards. The Hell in a Cell structure ended up surrounding the ring and with them inside. And it is the old Hell in a Cell. It's not the awful looking eyesore red Hell in a Cell that we got when Vince was running everything. So I'm glad that they finally got rid of that fucking awful red Hell in a Cell. Yeah, I couldn't even watch when they had that red Hell in a Cell. Whenever the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view would come every single year. It was just an absolute eyesore. So Adam Pearce ended up saying that part of his professional responsibilities is the delivery of main events and special attractions. He ended up saying this Saturday at Bad Blood, he plans on delivering one hell of a special attraction. He ended up saying that CM Punk and Drew McIntyre will go to war inside Hell in a Cell. He ended up saying after that match, it will be over between Punk and McIntyre. So Pearce ended up saying to get to Saturday, they have to make it through tonight. He kept saying that there will be no physical battle between Punk and McIntyre in Evansville. So there will be no physical, punches between them. So Pierce ended up saying that he has given them the opportunity to give one final shot in this bitter war. So he ended up introducing CM Punk. Punk came out first, and Punk ended up approaching the structure, the Hell in a Cell structure. He ended up touching the cell's steel wall. He entered into the Hell in a Cell. Punk was shown climbing briefly up the side of one of the walls. He ended up shaking Adam Pearce's hand once he got into the ring. And then Drew McIntyre ended up coming out. So McIntyre made his way to the ring. He entered the structure. Punk ended up staring at McIntyre, and the guards ended up standing in between them. So Pierce ended up asking both McIntyre and Punk if they have any last words. McIntyre ended up saying that he'll go first. He ended up saying that Punk might be wondering why he's wearing black. McIntyre ended up saying that it's not out of respect for Punk. He ended up saying that he has zero respect for Punk. And it's out of respect for Punk's wife. So McIntyre ended up saying that after Sunday, she'll have to feed and bathe him, and that she'll probably leave him. McIntyre ended up saying that this is a tuxedo because he will be celebrating when he's gone. He ended up saying that Punk isn't coming back this time, and that Punk has been back less than a year, and he's been injured for 4 months. So McIntyre ended up saying now he'll be gone for good, and it's all thanks to him. McIntyre ended up saying that the people I've watched for 10 months, even after all the evidence, they still chant, his name. So we had McIntyre saying that Roxanne Perez idolized Punk, and after spending some time with him, she changed her tune. McIntyre ended up saying that he can see the hatred burning through Punk. He ended up saying once upon a time, he was nothing but a blip on Punk's radar. He ended up saying that Punk hates him, and he hates Punk. McIntyre hates Punk. So McIntyre ended up saying that he used to have no time for hate, but Punk taught him how to do it. He ended up saying that hate is a powerful weapon, but dangerous in the long term. He ended up saying this Saturday that hate will die with Punk. So McIntyre ended up going to leave, but he ended up stopping, and he saw Punk take the mic. Punk ended up saying throughout his career, people have called him many things. The best in the world, the Second City Saint, and voice of the voiceless. Punk ended up saying that tonight, he is voiceless. He ended up saying that he has nothing to say to a piece of garbage like McIntyre, except that he's filled with so much rage when he looks at him. Punk ended up saying that he can't go home, and that for 4 weeks he's been living in a hotel because he cannot subject his wife to the man McIntyre has turned him into. He ended up saying that McIntyre has turned him into the fictitious boogeyman that as harsh as critics have labeled him. So Punk ended up saying that's who he needs to be on Saturday in Hell in a Cell to send McIntyre home to Scotland in a box. Punk ended up saying that he wants McIntyre to remember and never forget that he paid for all of this and that it happened. Punk ended up saying that on Saturday when McIntyre is locked in the cell with him and he has taken everything from him, McIntyre will be in a panic on his hands and knees. So Punk ended up saying that McIntyre will look up and Punk will wipe the blood from his eyes to see him. He ended up saying that McIntyre won't be praying to God or the devil. He'll be praying to CM Punk. So Punk ended up saying to McIntyre, I will see you in hell. So McIntyre ended up putting his head down, and he slowly looked up with fury to Punk. And that was basically that. But this was a very good segment here. Really am looking forward to the match between McIntyre and Punk this Saturday. It's going to be a good Hell in a Cell match, and hopefully we get some color, we get some blood in the match here, which that's got to be the case. You know, we got to see blood in this match. But overall, good segment it was. And then we had Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly was backstage with Braun Strowman. Kathy Kelly ended up asking Strowman if he's feeling trepidatious heading into his match with Bronson Reed. Strowman ended up saying to Kathy Kelly that he doesn't know what that word means. So then The Miz walked up to Strowman. So we had R-Truth end up walking up. Yes, we had the return of R-Truth tonight after he was tsunami'd by Bronson Reed. So Strowman ended up saying that he has a massive match and that they started these problems and they'll finish it. So Strowman walked off. Miz ended up asking Truth what he's doing here. Truth ended up saying that he works here to the Miz. So Miz ended up asking Truth why didn't he tell him. Truth ended up saying, oh, I don't know. So R-Truth ended up saying to the Miz that he texted Pierce since he's been getting picked on by Karrion Kross. So Truth ended up saying that him and the Miz will be taking on AOP. So Miz ended up saying that it's the Authors of Pain to R-Truth. So R-Truth didn't even realize that that stood for Authors of Pain, you know, AOP. So pretty much that was basically that. The Miz didn't look so thrilled because of that. So that was that. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we had Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly was backstage with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn ended up saying to Kathy Kelly that it hurts to be rejected and told he's not on someone's level. But Sami Zayn ended up saying that he knows how good he is and that he will not stop until he gets his chance at the World Heavyweight Championship and face Gunther for it. Pretty much that was that. And then we had a 6-man tag, the Judgment Day, Dominic Mysterio, Carlito, and Jada McDonough versus the LWO, Dragon Lee, Joaquin Wilde, and Cruz del Toro. How many times have we seen this? Enough with Judgment Day versus LWO. Let's move on, please. So the match got underway. Cruz del Toro started against Jada McDonough. Del Toro ended up taking it to McDonough. He ended up knocking McDonough down. Del Toro ended up heading to the top rope for a diving crossbody block onto McDonough. Joaquin Wilde then tagged in. McDonough ended up quickly driving Wilde to his corner. Carlito ended up tagging in, but Wilde ended up throwing Carlito into McDonough. He then ended up hitting McDonough with a neck breaker, causing McDonough to accidentally DDT Carlito. So Dominic ran in, but Joaquin Wilde ended up super kicking Dominic. Dragon Lee came off the top rope with a splash on Dominic. Del Toro then ended up hitting a springboard senton bomb onto McDonough. Joaquin Wilde then ended up delivering the 450 splash on Carlito, to which Wilde ended up going for the cover, and Carlito kicked out. So then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Joaquin Wilde and Dominic were in control of the match. Wilde ended up hitting Dominic with a DDT. And that led to Dragon Lee and McDonough both ended up tagging in. So Dragon Lee knocked Carlito off the apron. He ended up booting McDonough, and then he ended up hitting a Hurricanrana to Carlito. Dominic then ran in, but Dragon Lee ended up hitting Dominic with a German suplex. Dragon Lee then ended up decking McDonough with a knee to his face. We had later on in the match, Cruz del Toro ended up climbing to the top rope, and he ended up hitting Dominic and Carlito with the coast to coast. So then the LWO were in the ring. Joaquin Wilde ended up taking out McDonough with a somersault senton. Cruz del Toro and Dragon Lee end up hitting Dominic and Carlito with some suicide dives. Liv Morgan got on the apron to distract the ref. And Finn Balor ended up running down. Finn Balor ended up knocking Joaquin Wilde off the top rope, so Balor did not have any travel issues here. He was present tonight. So that led to McDonough end up hitting Joaquin Wilde with the devil inside. He ended up going for the cover, and there you go. The Judgment Day ended up winning the match. And hopefully we don't see any more of Judgment Day versus LWO. Please, let's move on from this. So then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, the Judgment Day were still in the ring. So he stood in the ring throughout the commercial break. So they were shown doing a group hug. Balor got on the mic. He looked into the camera. He ended up saying that he heard what Damian Priest said last week about ripping his heart out. Balor ended up saying that Priest should know that he doesn't have a heart. And at Bad Blood, he'll prove to the world that it was Priest who needed the Judgment Day. And that he needed Balor. So Balor ended up saying that the Judgment Day never needed Damian Priest. So then we got Liv Morgan, the Women's World Champion, on the mic. Liv ended up saying that she'll prove that she is a home-wrecking, man-stealing, heartbreaking, title-taking, greatest women's champion of all time. So she got interrupted by Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley got on the mic. She ended up saying to Liv that she was with Dominic for a long time. Rhea ended up saying that she knows all of Dominic's dirty little secrets. So she ended up asking the production crew to bring out the shark cage. So the shark cage was brought out. Rhea ended up saying that Dominic is extremely claustrophobic. She ended up saying that at Bad Blood, when Dominic's locked inside the shark cage, crying and soling himself in his brand new merch, he'll have the best seat in the house to watch his new girlfriend realize she's not as good as her. Rhea ended up saying that Dominic will watch as she wins back the championship that she never lost. She ended up saying, as for tonight, she's done talking. So Damian Priest snuck into the ring and took out Carlito and McDonough. Priest then ended up attacking Balor. Dominic and Liv Morgan tried to escape, but Rhea Ripley headbutted Liv Morgan down. Rhea Ripley then ended up sending Dominic into the barricade, and Rhea then ended up throwing Dominic into the shark cage. Liv Morgan then tried to attack Rhea, but Rhea ended up scaring Liv away. Rhea ended up running back, and she ended up kicking Dominic before opening the door of the shark cage. So Dominic was begging Rhea for mercy, but Rhea ended up throwing Dominic into the shark cage. So as Rhea was trying to lock the shark cage, Dominic ended up putting his feet up to stop Rhea from closing the door. And that led to Liv Morgan ended up attacking Rhea Ripley from behind. So both Liv and Rhea ended up getting into a brawl on the stage. So in the ring, Priest ended up powering Balor into the corner, and he started punching McDonough and Carlito. Balor then ended up hitting Priest with the sling blade, and then he delivered the drop kick to Priest. Priest ended up regaining, he got up, he ended up knocking Carlito down. Balor then ended up hitting a reverse DDT to take Priest down. McDonough and Carlito ended up both holding Priest up. Balor ended up hitting another drop kick, the Woo drop kick, and he headed to the top rope. Balor ended up hitting the coup de grace on Priest. Balor ended up going back to the top rope, and he hit another coup de grace to Priest. Balor headed up again to the top rope, and he delivered a third coup de grace onto Priest. So pretty much that was basically that. The Judgment Day stood tall over Priest, and that was basically that. But every time the Terror Twins, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, end up getting the advantage over the Judgment Day, they're made to look weak, in my opinion. It's like every time Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest come out and they're arguing with the Judgment Day, they get their asses kicked by them. That makes Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley look weak there. They should have the advantage over the Judgment Day and make them look strong. But they're making them look weak. The Judgment Day are making Priest and Rhea Ripley look weak. And then we had a vignette. We had a promo from Sheamus. Sheamus ended up saying that the only thing worse than getting cracked with a bat is having it done by a man he used to consider a brother. Sheamus ended up still thinking of Pete Dunne as Butch. Sheamus ended up saying that Dunne has taken it too far and is on the wrong side of a fight night. He ended up saying that Pete Dunne is a dangerous little bastard. And if he wants to play rough, he can do that. So Sheamus ended up challenging Dunne to one final banger. Sheamus ended up saying that he wants a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. So Sheamus was like, so what do you say to that, Butch? So pretty much that was basically that. And then we had Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett. They ended up extending their condolences to Pete Rose. Sadly, Pete Rose ended up passing away today. He passed away at 83. He was 83 years old. And I remember Pete Rose, not from his baseball stuff, but when he made appearances back in the day, for WWF, where he ended up getting chokeslammed by Kane at WrestleMania 14, where he was the guest announcer. And of course, he took a stink face from Rikishi. But yeah, condolences to Pete Rose's family. And then we had Kairi Sane and Io Sky. They were cutting a promo. Io ended up saying that they're still the most dominant team in the women's division. She ended up saying that she's in Bianca Belair's head, and that her and Kairi Sane want their tag team titles back. Pretty much Damage Control is dead. It's just Io and Kairi Sane. Dakota Kai is still out, so who knows when Dakota Kai will be coming back. You're better off just dropping the Damage Control name, because it's just Io and Kairi. That's it. Then we had Chad Gable. He ended up taking on Kofi Kingston. This was a good match here. Of course, Chad Gable was accompanied by the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile. Really do like Chad Gable's attire with, the American flag colors. So the match got underway. Gable ended up quickly taking Kofi down with a waistlock. Kofi ended up fighting out of the waistlock, but Gable ended up getting the better of Kofi. And Gable ended up hitting the ropes, but Kofi ended up leapfrogging over Gable. Kofi ended up going for a second leapfrog, but Gable countered, and he delivered a German suplex attempt to Kofi, to which Kofi ended up flipping through, and he delivered a drop kick to Gable. Kofi then ended up hitting a slingshot splash to Gable. He ended up going for the cover, to which Gable ended up kicking out. Gable then rolled out of the ring to recover. Kofi then ended up hitting the ropes for a suicide dive, but Gable ended up forearming Kofi in the face. Gable then delivered a German suplex to Kofi on the floor, and Gable had a cut on his forehead. It showed. So then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Gable was in control of the match. He ended up hitting a diving headbutt to Kofi. He ended up going for the cover, to which Kofi ended up kicking out. So we had Gable attacking Kofi. He whipped Kofi into the opposite corner. Kofi ended up scaling the ropes, and he delivered a missile drop kick to Gable. Kofi then pulled himself up. He delivered a pair of clotheslines to Gable, to which he followed up with a drop kick. So Gable ended up quickly fighting back with an exploder suplex to Kofi. Gable ended up going for the Chaos Theory, but Kofi countered that into a roll-up, to which Gable kicked out. So both Gable and Kofi were trading roll-ups back and forth. Gable ended up hitting an impressive avalanche DDT for a near fall on Kofi. So Gable ended up getting to his feet. He ended up charging at Kofi, but Kofi stunned Gable with a pendulum kick. Kofi ended up coming off the top rope, but Gable ended up applying the ankle lock on Kofi. Kofi countered the ankle lock with a roll-up, to which Gable ended up kicking out. Kofi ended up going for the Trouble in Paradise, but it got blocked by Gable. Gable applied the ankle lock once again on Kofi. Kofi rolled through the ankle lock, and he delivered the SOS. Gable ended up quickly grabbing the bottom rope, and he pulled himself out of the ring. Xavier Woods was rooting Kofi on. Kofi ended up going to ringside. He leapt off the steel steps to take out the Creed brothers. Kofi ended up putting Gable in the ring. Julius Creed ended up going for a blindside attack on Kofi, but Woods took Julius out. Kofi was in the ring, but Gable ended up kicking Kofi down. Gable ended up charging at Kofi, but Kofi sidestepped him. Kofi ended up going for the Trouble in Paradise, but he ended up crashing on the canvas because Woods ended up tripping Gable. So Gable quickly ended up getting up, and he hit Kofi with the Chaos Theory. So Woods was upset with himself, and he tried to help, Kofi, but that caused Kofi to lose. So Chad Gable won the match. So I think that was, of course, intentional on Xavier Woods' part. That was not an accident there. But good match it was between Kofi and Chad Gable. And then we saw Jackie Redmond. Jackie Redmond was backstage with Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed ended up congratulating Seth Rollins, and he hopes that Seth comes back. Because before Jackie Redmond interviewed Bronson Reed, footage was shown of Seth Rollins appearing on Sunday Night Football last night. So Bronson Reed ended up saying that he took months off of Seth Rollins' career. And next time, he'll take years off his life. Reed ended up saying as for Braun Strowman, he apologizes for exposing him as the man he is. So Bronson Reed ended up saying that he is the last monster standing. Pretty much that was basically that. And then we had a video shown of the Wyatt Six. The video ended up saying, "We see your intent, anger festering into rage. Do not go down this path. It ends in your demise. You know better. Do not force our hand. Heed our admonition." And another QR code was shown, and a woman that was in veil was shown. The veil ended up falling off, and a lot of people thought this was Alexa Bliss. But I don't think it's Alexa Bliss. It is Nikki Cross, of course. Because that can't be Alexa Bliss. I read a report that Alexa Bliss is not returning until next year. So it can't be Alexa Bliss. So I don't even know what the QR code is because, I didn't, use it, to look up what this Wyatt Six thing was. But that was that. And then we had Gunther. Gunther ended up making his way to the ring, the World Heavyweight Champion. Gunther is just great. He is a good promo. And we got some news on Ilya Dragunov. So at a live event that was held this past Saturday in Columbus, Ohio, Ilya Dragunov ended up facing Gunther, and Ilya Dragunov ended up tearing his ACL. And because of this, Dragunov is expected to miss 6 to 9 months, which that sucks. So Dragunov is missing the Royal Rumble. To where we see Dragunov make his return, he'll probably be back before WrestleMania next year in Las Vegas. So Gunther got on the mic. He ended up saying that life as the World Heavyweight Champion has been fantastic. He ended up saying that he loves every aspect. He ended up saying being the top guy, the luxuries, the money, and the amenities. He ended up saying that the one thing he hates is the insults he has to deal with from Sami Zayn every week. Gunther ended up saying that he could not ask for anyone more annoying than Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn ended up coming out, and he came out to the stage. So Sami Zayn ended up saying that if Gunther finds it so annoying to deal with him every week, there's a very easy way to put an end to all of this once and for all. Sami then got into the ring. He ended up saying all Gunther has to do is give him what he keeps asking for. He ended up saying that he wants Gunther to put the World Heavyweight Championship on the line, to which Gunther won't do it. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he knows why, and he thinks Gunther knows deep down. So Sami Zayn ended up telling Gunther to admit it, and that Gunther ended up saying that he tried to tell Sami Zayn and beat it into him. He ended up saying that Sami Zayn isn't on his level. So Sami Zayn ended up asking Gunther, if he's not on his level, then how did he beat him at WrestleMania? So he ended up saying Gunther beat everyone they put in front of him, except him. So Sami Zayn ended up saying that Gunther is scared it will happen again. So Gunther ended up thinking about it for a few minutes, and he looked at Sami Zayn angrily, to which the crowd ended up chanting, "You're a coward," to Gunther. So Gunther ended up saying that Sami Zayn is right, and that he is afraid. Gunther ended up saying that he's not afraid of Sami. He is afraid of his reputation. He ended up saying after all the legendary things he did with the Intercontinental Championship, losing to the better man would have been no problem. He ended up saying losing to Sami Zayn has been the biggest embarrassment of his career. Gunther ended up saying that he was so busy embarrassing Sami in front of his family that Sami did it to him. Gunther ended up saying that he also flew his family in, but he didn't parade them around for sympathy. He ended up saying once it was all done, he had to go to the back and look his father in the eye. So Gunther ended up saying what his father said in German. Gunther ended up saying that he had to look his father in the eye as he told him he flew from Vienna to Philadelphia to watch him lose to that bum, Sami Zayn. So Gunther ended up saying that Sami's family is used to seeing him fail, and that Sami's family doesn't expect anything from him. He ended up saying that his family expects everything from him. Gunther ended up saying that he is the golden goose of his family, and that he is special. He ended up saying that he is something Sami Zayn will never be, and that is the World Heavyweight Champion. So Sami Zayn ended up saying that Gunther is right about something. He ended up saying that his family has watched him lose and get knocked down many times. Sami ended up saying that he always picks himself up and moves forward. He ended up saying, what did Gunther do when he lost in front of his family? And he ended up saying that Gunther crumbled. Sami ended up saying that Gunther didn't ask for a rematch, and that he tucked his tail and hid. And Sami ended up saying that Gunther disappeared from TV for months, and he didn't show his face because he couldn't. And it's all because his father made him feel like a loser. He ended up saying now Gunther is showing his father that he's also a coward. So Gunther then became irate, and he clotheslined Sami down. Gunther started stomping on Sami. He removed his jacket. Gunther then powered Sami into the corner and started shouting at him. Sami then blocked the punch from Gunther. he started punching back at him. Sammy ended up grabbing Gunther, and he ended up fighting Gunther to hit an exploder into the turnbuckles. Sammy then backed up. He ended up charging for a haluva kick, but Gunther popped out of the corner and applied a sleeper hold to Sammy. Gunther then ended up spinning Sammy around with the sleeper hold, and then he ended up hitting a powerbomb to Sammy. So Gunther stood over Sammy, and he ended up saying Sammy has his match. And pretty much that was basically that. So we got the match for next week on Monday Night Raw. So should be a good match next week. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we had the AwesomeTruth, Miz and R-Truth. They ended up taking on the Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor. Of course, they were accompanied by Karrion Kross, Scarlett, and Paul Ellering. This match was basically set up for the Miz's heel turn, which we did see. So the Miz tagged in. He prepared to attack Akam. He turned around and he booted R-Truth in the head. So Karrion Kross was shown laughing from ringside. Miz walked off. He teared off his AwesomeTruth shirt. The Authors of Pain ended up hitting the Water Rush to R-Truth, even though R-Truth was not the legal man, and he never made a legal tag to the Miz. So pretty much Authors of Pain went for the cover, and there you go. They ended up winning the match. So the Miz is back as a heel, and the crowd went mild. Who cares? Moving on. We had Kathy Kelly backstage with Gunther as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial. So we had Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. Kathy Kelly ended up mentioning to Gunther that Sami Zayn got under his skin, and there is a World Heavyweight Championship match next week. So Braun Breaker walked up to Gunther, and in the background, we saw Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods arguing. So Braun Breaker ended up saying that he just wanted to see Gunther for himself. To which Gunther ended up saying to Braun Breaker, he really is a badass. So Breaker ended up saying that he'll see sooner than he thinks. So that was basically that. And then we had Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore end up going over what we're going to see next week on Monday Night Raw. The first 2-hour Monday Night Raw in a very long time. So we're going to be getting Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. We're getting the good old-fashioned Donnybrook match between Sheamus and Pete Dunne. And Xavier Woods versus Jey Uso for the Intercontinental Championship. So those matches are going to be shown next week on Monday Night Raw. Main event. Last Monster Standing match. Braun Strowman versus Bronson Reed. Really am enjoying this feud between Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. This is the most interesting and very likable thing going on Monday Night Raw. And this was a good main event here. Really enjoyed this. So Strowman got into the ring, and he immediately clotheslined Bronson Reed. Reed ended up hitting the ropes. He ducked the clothesline, and he had pinned a running forearm. And as Bronson Reed was, running the ropes, you saw like the ring kind of shake a little bit because of how big Bronson Reed is. So Bronson Reed got out of the ring. He ended up charging up Braun Strowman, who rolled out of the ring to recover. Strowman then sidestepped Reed and sent Reed into the ring steps. Strowman grabbed the top half of the ring steps and he smashed it twice into Bronson Reed's face. Strowman then climbed the steps and he grabbed Bronson Reed. And Strowman delivered a massive choke slam to Bronson Reed through the commentary table. So the ref began to count, and Reed got to his feet. Reed ended up shouting, "It's going to take more than that." So then Monday Night Raw with the commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Bronson Reed ended up slamming Braun Strowman down. There were 6 chairs that were set up at ringside. Reed ended up going up to the apron. He tried to suplex Strowman out of the ring into the 6 chairs that were set up at ringside. Strowman ended up fighting out, and he ended up hitting the ropes to knock Reed off the apron, and Reed ended up going through the chairs that were set up at ringside. So the ref started to count. Reed got to his feet as the ref ended up counting 6. Strowman ended up following Reed up the ramp, but Reed ended up grabbing Strowman and sent him into the LED wall. Reed then grabbed the steel chair. Strowman ended up blocking it, and he smashed the steel chair on Reed's back a few times. Strowman and Reed ended up rolling into the crowd. Strowman ended up getting Reed on top of a road crate. Strowman was set up for a chokeslam to Reed through the tables, but Reed ended up raking Strowman's eyes. Reed then ended up hitting the Death Valley driver to Strowman off the crate, and they went through the tables. So Reed ended up stirring. He got to his feet. Strowman got up to his feet as the ref counted 7. So Strowman ended up charging. He ended up knocking Reed over the barricade back to ringside. So Reed got to his feet as the ref counted 5. And then Monday Night Raw with the commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we saw Bronson Reed. He ended up charging at Strowman. A shoulder tackle Strowman through the barricade. And there were officials that ended up running down to check on fans that may have been injured there, but of course those fans were so-called plants. So we had Bronson Reed end up getting Strowman in the ring. Bronson Reed ended up going to the top rope. And we had Reed end up hitting the tsunami to Strowman. So we had Strowman was down for more than 10 seconds. Reed ended up going up to the top rope. He delivered another tsunami to Strowman. So Reed was furious. He ended up going outside to attack the guards. Reed grabbed Chad Patton, who was the referee, and he threw him down. Adam Pearce came out. Adam Pearce got in Bronson Reed's face, so Reed ended up grabbing Pearce. And security ended up running over to separate them. Of course, Adam Pearce will probably fine Bronson Reed for that. So Strowman climbed to the top rope. And Strowman ended up hitting a crossbody block onto the security guards at ringside, which was crazy, taking them all out. So, the end of the match, we had Reed end up throwing a chair into Strowman's head. Reed ended up climbing to the second rope because Braun Strowman was already on the top rope. So, Reed then ended up hitting Strowman with a superplex. And because of that, the ring ended up collapsing. Not surprised. I knew that the ring was going to collapse. I mean, the ring collapsing spot has been done to death. This is the 4th time we've seen a ring collapse. It's not shocking at all, like how it was when Brock Lesnar ended up suplexing Big Show off the top and the ring imploded on SmackDown back in 2003, which that was very unexpected at the time. So that was the first time the ring collapsed, and then you had the second one happen between Big Show and Mark Henry at Vengeance 2011, and then it was Braun Strowman versus Big Show on Monday Night Raw in 2017, I think it was, and now this. So the ref was knocked out, and Bronson Reed was stirring. He pulled himself over the ring steps. And then from out of nowhere, Seth Rollins ended up returning. Seth Rollins ended up hitting Bronson Reed with the stomp on the ring step, and Strowman ended up getting up. Strowman ended up winning the match because the ref counted 10, so Braun Strowman won the match, and that was basically how Monday Night Raw went off the air. Overall, very good match this was. Glad that Seth Rollins returned, and he ended up taking out Bronson Reed with the stomp. So they're gonna continue the feud with Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed after Bronson Reed ended up taking out Seth Rollins with those tsunamis. But overall, Monday Night Raw, average show it was. It did nothing to hype us up for Bad Blood this Saturday. But anyway, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Be sure to check out my previous video, which was my movie review of Ordinary People. So check out that. And I'll see you all tomorrow because I will be on Luke Ponto's channel as we do a watch along for Abigail. So join us on Luke Ponto's channel and watch along with us if you have the film Abigail on stream or on 4K or Blu-ray. Join us tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central. So, let's have some fun and join us for a watch along. And then, of course, I'll see you on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite here on my channel. It's the 5-year anniversary of Dynamite on Wednesday. So, but like I said, if you want to join me on Luke Ponto's channel tomorrow night for the Abigail watch along, join us. So until then, I'll see you all later.